Hi friends, Namaste and welcome back to our YouTube channel Tutor Pratik. In today's CSS session, we are going to learn about various designs of CSS buttons. We can easily create CSS buttons, very attractive designs with animations, while over the mouse for our web layouts just by using the CSS properties. CSS buttons are very important for any interactive web pages. So for better performance, the look and the design of CSS buttons should be displayed better. So please keep watching today's special CSS button designing video till end, that you won't be miss any important steps of it. But before we start, if you are new to our YouTube channel and still didn't subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell button that you will be notified whenever we publish our new session videos. Now, not being late, let's begin our today's session. CSS button can be designed very attractive and stylish just by using the CSS property. There is no any hard coding to be done for it. And first, let's create some basic button designs. Here, we created 4 buttons. First one, default button, is used with button tag with default style. Then the second one, a button, is created by using hyperlink a tag. The third one, CSS button, is created using CSS button tag, and the last one, input button, is created using input tag. And for all these buttons except default button, we gave the class name button. Now on first, let's apply some basic button styles on them. For this, let's add some CSS properties for button class. Dot button background color border none color white padding 50 pixel 32 pixel text align center text decoration none display inline block font size 16 pixel margin 4 pixel 2 pixel crusher pointer. Here we can see the difference of CSS button styles between the default button and buttons with button class. We can see the better differences like mouse cursor changing, background color, button size, etc. than the default one. Just by using the background color CSS property, we can create various color button styles. Let's try this by creating some buttons with different class names. Now we have 5 buttons in our web page, and on those buttons added subclasses button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4 and button 5 for giving various colors on them. Let's add some CSS properties for those buttons. Now we have various background color buttons like green, blue, red, gray and black on our web page. If you want to learn more about CSS background color property, you can check our previous video related to background color. The video link can be found on this video's description as well as in the I button. We can also make changes on button sizes. For this, let's give some different values of font size property on our buttons. Here, now we have various different size CSS buttons on our web page. So, just by using the font size property, we can change our CSS button sizes. But while using this font size property, as well as the button size, the text size is also get increased. So, if we just want to make our button size increased without increasing the text size, we can use the padding property instead of font size property. Let's replace this font size property into padding for sizing our CSS buttons. Now, here we can see that we have different size buttons without changing its text size. And also, by using this padding property, we can change the button size according to our needs. Like some buttons are rectangle and some are square shape. Just by using the values of padding property, we can make changes on our button size. For more details about how to give padding and various directions, you can check our previous video related to the CSS padding property. The video link can be found on this video's description, as well as you can find it on the I button. Similarly, for better display, we can change the border radius for our CSS buttons. Let's add various border radius property on these buttons. Now we have various rounded corner buttons. By using this border radius property, we can make our CSS button border corners rounded or can make our circular or oval shape. Please check on our previous session video related to the CSS border radius property. You can find the video link on this video's description as well as in the I button. For making our CSS buttons alive on the hover state of the button, we can give different background colors, box shadows and other CSS properties for simple basic CSS buttons. Now for advanced stylish design for CSS buttons, we are going to create some attractive animated CSS buttons, and this can be done very easily with just using some CSS properties. Animated CSS button design 1. Let's replace our HTML body with this button code. Now let's give CSS properties for our button. And first, let's give the CSS property for our HTML and body element. After then, let's give the CSS properties for our glow on hover class. Similarly, let's define other CSS properties to make our animated CSS button design. Here, we can see that how stunning CSS buttons we have now. We can see that animated effects with rainbow colors moving slowly even while we hover the mouse on our CSS button. And as well as when we click and hold on this button, we can see this animated rainbow gradient color that overlapped our CSS button. Similarly, just by using the various CSS definitions, we can make attractive and animated CSS buttons. Let's check some more animated CSS button designs. In this way, by using the various CSS properties as well as the CSS animation properties, we can design our CSS buttons very stylish and very attractive. So just by using the simple CSS properties, we can give any CSS design with animation for our web elements like buttons or any other elements. That's all for today. We will come back soon with more interesting videos. Until then, take care and goodbye.